Panchkam, but I'm laying a strong foundation so that these 40 steps becomes clear. The world is like a big computer game. We win or we lose. We chase and be happy, and sometimes we chase, we get frustrated. So chasing is one, but by chasing we become happy or we become frustrated. Because every time we chase, we fail. Every time we chase, we become happy. So every time we chase, we are happy. I forget my real journey. Every time I chase, I get frustrated, and the time comes, oh, let us find another path. Let us find something else. I cannot do this business, let us do another business. I'm not happy with my partner, so let me change the partner. I'm still in the game. I have not left the game. That is the problem. I have to understand where I am engaged. I am engaged in a big computer game since I wake up in the morning until I sleep, and the next day the same game starts. So our masters, that is the reason our masters gave different words to represent a journey. So when you are playing a game, you are a gamer. When you are engaged in the world, you are a consumer. You have an extreme selfishness. So the master says, come on, can you become a seeker? Why? Sadhak, can you become a sadhak? That is known as seeker. So, now what I am seeking, yes, I have to be very clear about my seeking. Okay, do I see the changes in me so that I can tell myself as a seeker? Yes, if I see the changes in myself, obviously I can say that I am a seeker. So, what game I need to play? And that is what the sadhana is. So you see that there is a 5 words. You have the book, you can go through it. Perhaps it's the first section, the ninth one. Ninth, or I don't remember, eighth or seventh. The sadhana, sadhaka, sadhya, siddha, and sadhu. All starts with the word S. In the first section, you can see the chapters. What is sadhana? Sadhaka, sadhya, siddha, and sadhu. So I briefly explained it, so we are going to understand in a very pragmatically. Sadhana. Sadhana means practices that we employ. Yesterday, I was talking to this guy. He had some problems, so I said, okay, do only 3 postures. This is the way. Do this breathing practice, then go to the meditation, pray to the God, and everything will be all right. Can I do the sun Surya Namaskar also? I said, you are a doctor or I'm a doctor? You are in a IT, so can you tell your boss that, I'm just collecting the data. Can I go to AI also? Or can I go to something else? You don't say. So you are very much as if you know the solution. So if you know the solution, then why you have approached me? No, no, no. I thought that if I do it, it will give me the additional benefit. So go and talk to your boss that I will also in a spare time, I will do another job. Will you allow me? So sadhana means the practices by which we confine the mind into a particular territory to have a particular change. I need a specific change, and the teacher helps you to understand what are those specific changes I need. Why? That's very majority of the people leave the sadhana. Why? Teacher knows the whole picture. He went through that entire journey. But today I'm understanding a part of the journey. So I contemplate and reflect based on the part, and that becomes wrong. So that is why the second step we have to become a seeker. So once we are a seeker, then obviously that is the second word that I use. The third word is the sadhya. Sadhya means what exactly is the goal, because of the impurities of the mind, because of lot of engagement, because of lot of past impressions. That is why I started with an example. We continue to chase and be happy. We continue to chase and get frustrated. Both these attitude of the mind can take you in a different direction. The teacher says you that remember the goal is to know the real self, to realize the real self, to awaken to peace and happiness and to bring an end to this suffering. That is your goal, only twofold goal. And through these principles, we understand that how to stop chasing, even if we are happy with something outside in the world. You continue to work, but don't chase. You like pasta, keep on eating pasta as long as you are able to afford it. But don't crave for it. Craving is attachment. You are eating pasta, and if you are eating something else, both keeps you the same state of the mind, no issue at all. You are a seeker. No issue. You are chasing something, you get frustrated. So the master helps you to understand what you are chasing. There the happiness is not located. One thing. Second thing, then you do the viveka and see, is it worth chasing? No, leave it. Let us leave it. So why to leave it? Because I have to get out of the aversion. I have to get out of the reactive tendencies in my mind. So I react to you, and then I attach to someone else. Again, I react to that someone else, and then I attach to the third one. So the master is saying, don't fall into this trap of the mind. That is what happens. If I don't fall into the trap of this mind, you are a sadhu. The word sadhu means a monk. Basically, it is a monk and sannyasi. But no, that is one meaning. Second meaning, that even living my material life, the seeker's attitude is maintained. Seeker's attitude is maintained. What it means, a beautiful example has come to my mind. A monk, with those clothes approaches your house, approaches to your home, and then he may hug you, but he keeps a distance with your partner. No. Opposite sex is better to keep a distance. That means that indicates. So he is following the path of the monkhood. What about us? What about us? So when you are communicating, talking to your partner in daily life, you remain a monk. You don't see your partner as an object of pleasure. You become a contributor. You become a good friend. It does not depend on whether their IQ level matches you or not. You become a partner. So there you also have. You have, but attitude inside is changed. So that seeker's attitude to remain as a sadhu is also possible. Is also possible in daily life. So that is why I picked up this. I wrote this topic in this book. The 5. And the 5th word is known as the Siddha. Siddha means the perfection. Perfection is a little misnomer. It creates a doubt about it. So with the one meaning of the Siddha is the real self is always perfect. I am settled in the real self. I can express that, yes, there is a perfection. But here, I am not talking about that. You have achieved a state of the calmness when you wake up in the morning until you retire to the bed. You are engaged fully in your personal, professional, social activities. That state of the calmness helps you to live in a higher state of awareness that makes you a seeker. That is also a state of perfection. So you pick up very small things, simply small things in your life. So we are progressing towards the perfection stage by following pragmatically, practicing, and experiencing the changes. I give you a simple example. You wake up in the morning, first things you just chant the mantra, do the Mangalacharan, Sarvesham Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhaga Bhavid. If you don't remember, just remember in English, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Let everyone be happy. Let everyone be healthy. Let everyone be blessed. Let none suffer from misery in this world. Now take up the first one. Let everyone be happy. Okay, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. I can only keep others happy if I am happy. If I am happy, it means happiness or is a state of the mind. And the prerequisite of that happiness is a calmness in the mind. If I don't have the state of the calmness, there will not be happiness. Okay, so I wake up in the morning, I remember, and throughout the day I maintain the state of the calmness. Naturally, I have not disturbed anyone, and I keep that state of the happiness for everyone and for myself. No, I had 5 events today that disturbed me. So I contemplate and reflect. As a seeker, I contemplate and reflect, and I ask myself, what causes me the unease? What disturbed my calmness? That is the role of a seeker. So the seeker constantly is living in the field of awareness because his goal is to find the real self. Now come to the word as a seeker. In the very beginning, I summarized it. Where I summarized a person who studies medicine, the label is given to him is a doctor. A person who drives a car, the label is given a driver. Who teaches, label is teacher. who follows the path of the Eastern wisdom to discover the real self is a seeker. So it means the doctor has certain capabilities, certain abilities and qualification. Driver has certain abilities. So I should ask myself, what are the qualities I should have? We don't ask. Oh, I can practice meditation. I can do kundalini. I never ask. So I lose awareness on my part and then I start doing the practice. Can I do sun salutation? Do it 50 times and get lost. You are not a seeker. So we pick up instantly that you are not a seeker, you are just making a joke. So here in US we say over-the-counter medication. I have a knee pain and then I have cold and the cough and I go to a chemist and I become a doctor and I say, give me these medications. So in the yoga and the Eastern wisdom, we become our own doctor. I can do this practice, I can do this, and it will happen. And that causes the attachment. I never become the seeker. And Masters makes us clear again and again. I have to become a seeker, a qualified person to treat the path of self-discovery is a seeker. So one master can teach you that here is the real self, here is a false self. Why we learn it? Because I have not to move to the false self, I have to move to the real self. But my mind is not ready to move to the real self because I am heavily attached. So because of the attachment, there is a desire. Because of the desire, go back, I covered that topic. Because of the desire, I have 6 enemies, and those 6 enemies causes the impure states of the mind, and the impure states of the mind is linked to the vasanas, the storehouse of the memories. Oh, that is preventing me not to become a seeker. So what to do? I have to purify the mind. And depending on the nature, japa meditation also purifies the mind. That is one out of the 6 conventional practices. So yes, does that meditation we are doing not only to purify the mind but to increase our focus towards the journey of the real self? Yes. Higher meditation will come and then you will realize, oh, this is what we say the meditation is. So the japa meditation we are doing is to purify the mind, to focus the mind, to enable the journey of the self-inquiry. We are becoming a seeker. Even if the mind says, I didn't get it, no, I feel a little bit of calmness, continue. Sometimes the mind will break its immaturity and you will enter deeper into it. Let us wait, let us see what happens. Let us see what happens. So you see, 5 things. The seeker. Sadhana means the practices, what practices we do. And sadhana. And then the sadhya. Sadhya means the goal. Our goal should be clear. You see that what is the purity of the mind? You leave aside all these impurities. Your mind is constantly aware of the goal to find the real self in you, living in your personal, professional, social life. It is done. Indications. Indications are there all the time. Sadhya. Siddha, I told you the perfection. So real self is always perfect. I need not to perfect. But I have to perfect small things, living into that state of the calmness throughout the day so that I can live in higher awareness. Living into higher awareness not only will succeed my meditation, but it also helps in my personal, professional, and social life. We are not going against it. We are not going against what we are doing. Let the time come when you say that I want to get more and more absorbed into meditation. I have extended the practice of meditation. I was doing 1 hour, now I can do for 2 hours and 3 hours. My mind is saying that. And if the mind is saying, obviously, we are entering into a gradual level of perfection. Sadhana practices, all those practices which helps me to reach to the real self. You are 500 miles away from the real self. Other guy is only 100 miles away from the real self, depending on the level of evolution, the past impression, because of the temperament, because of the attitude, because of the power of grasping the knowledge. So not to follow the same practices. So we have to do variety of the practices, and based on the understanding, the teacher chooses those practices. Second is the sadhaka, the seeker, means seeker, sadhak. I have explained you in varieties of ways that I should be qualified. Two things. I should be qualified to find the self. I should be qualified to do the practices. If I'm not able to do the practices, gone. You have already seen that Terry suffers from Parkinson. She is not able to stay still. But every time she comes to my session, her body becomes still. It is only because of that intense desire. She is qualified. So it is not that we have limitations of the body, we cannot be qualified. Everyone can be a qualified seeker. Everyone can be a qualified seeker. Maharshi Raman just spent a couple of days while lying down in Shavasana, and from the Shavasana he recognized that I am not the body. And from I am not the body, he realized that he is the real self. Maharshi Raman did not learn anything from these texts. First he realized the real self, and then he read Gita. Rare people. These are the rare breed. So it means what Maharshi Raman did, whether I'm qualified or not. But yes, I can get the understanding. I can get the understanding. Vivekananda Ramakrishna was talking about contemplation and reflection, and he was talking in a group about the sensual desires. We have to leave these desires. Vivekananda was already free from those desires. Since his, he was hardly 14, 15 years old when there are too much of emotional changes and the body moves into the adolescence. And that this young age he went to US, and the beautiful girl here proposed, and Vivekananda turned him into Sister Nivedita, one of the great lady who became a disciple of Vivekananda. So his name changed to Nivedita. So that is the people. There are the people. Then there are the people. So it means all the impressions comes from some origin. That is the vasana. Good vasana, bad vasana. So based on that, we have to choose these practices. And sadhya means to discover the true nature, the real self. That is our goal. Siddha means, I have already told you, the stage of perfection. One is the gradual perfection. And sadhu means, now I possess some of the qualities of being a seeker. sadhana, practice. You have never to forget it. Patanjali says sadhana is a upaya, means the method. And he defines the method as abhyas vairagya bhyam tannirodha. He says there are two aspects of the sadhana. And that is what we are learning for so many months and years. Now the time has become to clarify it. Abhyas, practice. Vairagya bhyam. So he says that practice must be supported by vairagya. That is the real practice. Vairagya, dispassion. Any practice. In a very casual statement, but very important statement. Why he said practice with vairagya? Today I am doing pranayama, tomorrow I have to leave it. I have to do vairagya with that practice. Why? Real self is already within me. I don't need any practice. Gradually I have to reach to a state where there no practice is required and I'm able to realize the real self. In a very casual statement I'm making. But that is also true. But otherwise, whatever the practices that I need to do today as a seeker, tomorrow I have to leave it. Or I have to advance. I have to move into the higher state, higher practice. That is another meaning of abhyas vairagya bhyam tannirodha. What a beautiful statement. People miss, Patanjali says practice the asana, but what exactly is the practice? I don't remember. That he covered in the second chapter. So it means every practice. And how the vairagya comes? By viveka. So viveka tells me this practice, its cause and effect, its the variety of experiences. I have heard it, I know it, now I am doing the practice. I get rid of all kinds of hallucinations and I am doing the practice with the discernment and dispassion. Out of 1 million people, one person becomes aware that every practice must be supported by vairagya. Vairagya comes because of viveka. It means the practice with viveka, vairagya has to be done. Sadhana. So the book name that we are going to learn is Sadhana Panchkam. That is why I said Sadhana Panchkam, Sadhana, practice Panchkam, any 5 verses on practices. So it means I have to have a minimum level of a qualification with that sadhana. Yes, you can also understand. I have covered that in the book. So when I'm making an effort in doing any practice, just make it sure it is because of the impurities. As the impurities starts removing, your sense of effortlessness comes in. A state of natural practice emerges in you. Too much of effort with the practice is known as tapasya, tapa. And the progressive stages of the tapa results into effortlessness. You are doing Padmasana for 10 minutes today. After a few weeks, you are doing half an hour. So from that effort, you move to the state of effortlessness. Same thing with any practice, whether it is pranayama, whether it's a mantra, japa, understanding, everything has to be understood in that term. Sadhika, I have already. So understand couple of steps in becoming a qualified seeker. I have covered that topic because a seeker has to have a balanced approach. Balance means that I am not easily agitated. Once all the impurities will go away, then only I will be completely get rid of the agitation. But I'm not easily agitated. I'm not influenced and impacted by the strong likes and dislikes. I'm not getting carried away by success and the failure. I'm not carried away by what my partner says, but I have to contemplate and reflect and then make my decision. Why I'm saying so? I told you that a seeker should have 4 qualifications: viveka, vairagya, shat sampatti, the 6 treasures of the mind, and the intense desire for self-discovery. So when you start doing the viveka and the vairagya, obviously you stop getting agitated easily. You are able to maintain the calmness. So not simply intellectually. You said something in the last session on meditation. No, it's okay. I don't see that tremendous change. Are you able to maintain that state of the calmness throughout the day? It is a great change in your life. You don't get easily upset throughout the day. You lived your personal life, you lived your professional life, you lived your social life. You are happy, calm. 6 treasures. Sama, Dhamma, Uparati. Because you have Sama, Dhamma, and Uparati, you go beyond the enjoyment. You are not getting a particular thing to enjoy, and you say, calm down, no issue. So 4 qualifications at the surface level, intellectual understanding. Vivek, Vairagya, Samadhama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha and Samadhan. And the 6th one is the immense desire for. So when the mind is totally pure, I only have one desire, that desire to know the real self. So let me check how many times today I have that desire popped up into the mind. Not a single time, but I maintain calmness. So now you see that not a single time, but still I'm able to maintain the calmness. Okay, calmness is the first step. Let us maintain it. Let us continue it. I'm not hesitated. I'm not too much attached. Oh, I'm going there. I'm going there. I'm going there. So it's not important that I don't have a thought of the desire for self-discovery, not a single time. But at the same time, I'm calm, relaxed. I'm not easily agitated now. I'm not impacted by anything in the world. So I'm progressing. I'm moving forward. That is where the teacher comes and makes you aware that don't worry, even if it is not there. It is already happening. It is already present deep inside. When you reach to that state of the calmness, when you recognize that nothing outside can give you peace and happiness, and the mind is still searching for peace and happiness, it will have a desire for freedom. So we have to understand the different layers of our awareness, which makes me a seeker. So I have a different level of seeking, by which I gave an example of Vivekananda, Maharshi Raman, And I always cite an example of Aurobindo. Aurobindo's parents barred him. Aurobindo's mother, Aurobindo parents were doctors in the British era in India. They sent him to England at the age of the 5. And they had an English-British nanny, maid. Look at it, and at the age of 13, 14, he returned to India. The first thing he learned is the Eastern way. So it all depends on that part, to attract, to enter into that area of the unknown, we have to become a seeker. Sadhya. Sadhya, the subject matter, you can say. What is the subject matter? Subject matter is the real self. Oh, when you said real self, my mind should immediately pick up. Then what you are talking, is there a false self? Yes, there is a false self. Where is the false self? Because I don't know the real self. Whatever I know is the false self. I am the body, mind, intellect, ego. No, anger cannot be managed. No, don't manage your anger. Transcend your anger. I am agitated. Transcend your agitation. We don't say manage it. So it boils down to the goal of life and the goal in life. Goals in life are many. Seeking pleasure, avoiding pain, frustration. Goal of life is only one. How to become clear? What we are understanding, the subject matter. Subject matter, initially intellectually we say goal is, to find the real self. So intellect already understood, but it does not go to the mind. I forget it. Throughout the day I forget. Only thing I remember, I have to practice meditation in the morning, listen to the talk, and that is all. No. Very listening, very practice makes you very clear. These are the goals in life. This is the goal of life. You strike a harmony. What do you mean by harmony? You wake up in the morning, you practice your meditation. Now you are driving to your office. While driving to the office, your mind reminds you that ultimate goal is to find the real self. Now what happens? You are finding that real self through your profession. You are aware of that. Are you getting it? You are finding that real self through your profession, through your activity, through giving the order to your employees, through talking to your partner, through helping the kid, through the driving. You strike the harmony. At present, it is just the opposite. I have certain challenges in the world and I forget. I believe, you are getting into this idea. So you strike the harmony between the external life. Is there not a harmony now? Yes, there is a harmony with reference to the pleasure seeking, avoiding the pain, lot of challenges, the stress, I'm fully busy and constantly reacting. Now that harmony is bypassed totally, is replaced by the state of the calmness. And I strike the harmony. Main goal of life, I remember, I know it. So let me see, in the state of the calmness, clarity, conducive atmosphere, how I live my personal life, professional life. It means what? I am gradually reducing the attachment and detachment. I am reducing my reaction in my daily life. But why the heck I'm doing? Yes, I'm trying to become a higher level of a seeker. So I have that sense of impurity in the mind. I'm not able to strike the harmony. Those people go to retreat. Oh, in 1 week I will awaken myself and I will return with the same habit. And that is why no change is taking place. We have to be very logical, rational in understanding these principles. The time has come, and that's why I'm talking. So now I have to understand. Should I go there and have? No. I go there with a particular state of the mind. So let me purify the mind. It is also good to go for a retreat. To purify the mind, keep your goal very practical, pragmatic. That I forgot the final goal of that is the liberation and the freedom, and I was so much engaged in my professional activities. So let me go to a retreat and see how the mind can remember the real self. That is a good for a retreat. So it's okay. It's okay. It's a part of the journey. So if we follow that pragmatic approach, very pragmatic, then it is possible. Then it is definitely possible. Otherwise, it is not possible. The Siddha, I have already explained. So, understanding has to be very clear. The sadhana refers to the group of practices contemplated and reflected upon with the teacher, and you are committed to those practices. But Patanjali, according to the Patanjali, we should always remember, am I clear about the practice that I am doing it? No, let me contemplate and reflect why the teacher said this step. What is the reference point? I did not understand, so let me discuss. Let me understand it. So that brings the discernment and dispassion. The sadhaka, the seeker, must be qualified and committed to treading the path, whether you are living a personal life, professional life, social life, every moment. Even buying and leasing a car. So, very in an easy manner. So you live into that state. And then there is no problem. And then we are very clear about the subject matter that is known as the sadhya. Siddha means the perfected stage, perfect stage. Real self is perfect because it is unchanging. It is all pervading. It is every. But at a lower level, I have to seek a state level of perfection. Am I able to maintain the calmness and the poise throughout my life? My business has a loss, but can I able to maintain that calmness? And from that calmness, I start thinking about the business. Yes, possible. And then we get a change. That change we reflect in being what we say in being a sadhu. Sadhu. So it is very important that you start asking questions that who is a qualified seeker, and allow your mind to answer that. Who is a qualified seeker? What are the qualities? What are the traits required? That is another way to strike the harmony. First question you can ask, second question what is the goal of the Eastern wisdom? Why we are learning this? Where we have reached? Where is the true happiness found? So you have to practically see where is the true happiness. When does one attain the goal? When I will attain the goal. So we should be very clear. What is when we should achieve the Goal, when the mind is totally purified, it is reflecting the consciousness. Okay, is that state present in me now? Or mind simply jumps to the other thoughts? I have to ask the question. The more you ask the question, the better it is. So you should find out maybe half an hour of contemplation period every day and you may write down in the notebook in small. Then I was also asked that why the teacher is important. I can do it myself. What are the points? What are the reasons the teacher is important? And if I have found out the reasons as a seeker, do I follow those reasons or not? I'm opening up your mind totally in a different way. So it's very important. That is how does one treat the path? What exactly I'm doing? I'm doing a morning practice and I forget everything. And then I return home, I remember everything. So I'm living a dual life, spiritual life, material life. No, I have to combine the two. How to combine the two? That is what I discussed. Think. So now another part, maybe 1 hour of contemplation or half an hour of contemplation should also be added as a daily practice. You just sit down, pick up the topic, you listen to the talk, and then you say, okay, what is there in the topic? What, why, where, how, when? In English language, we say 5W, 1H. 5W, 1H is how. So when you are contemplating and reflecting, you will recognize, your mind will recognize that this journey requires a sincere effort. At the same time, at a higher level of a seeker, knows on the path I need a sincere and a tremendous effort. But in the end, goal is to realize the real self, which is totally effortless. Why? Because it is already within me. Are you 100% clear? I'm 100% clear, and I woke up in the morning and I'm totally upset, and now the mind does not remember this. That frustrated mind says nothing is there in the Eastern wisdom because I created doubt. You are the real self, you forgot it. See that? One must have, it means I must have a faith in the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom. I have to go back and find out why this is happening to me. Think. I have to start thinking. External practices are meant to purify the mind. All external practices, whether the teacher says you to sit without any movement, it has one layer of the impurity, or whether the master is saying do the practice of japa or japa meditation. Any practice which needs an effort has to do with the purification of the mind. Why? How to know? I start reminding myself that my goal is the real self during the day. You have to combine the greatest obstacle in the journey is attachment and detachment. Raga and dvesha. You have raga and dvesha. There is a non-thinking attitude in the mind. Non-thinking, doesn't help you to remind what is the goal. It creates it helps you to fall into unconsciousness. It does not mean that unconsciousness you are not aware of the worldly duties. You are aware of everything, but you are not aware of that final goal. We have done many a times. I'm repeating for the sake of combining these things. I have repeated, a seeker is one who challenges the false assumption, false notion. If I don't challenge the false notion, my mind accumulates those impressions and it will cover up. So these are one set of the challenges. Other set of the challenges my master used to say, doubt. Doubt about the validity of teaching. It is subconscious. It is habitual. And doubt about the knowledge of the real self. I don't see the real self. What you are talking about? They are living at a very deeper level. And without the proper guidance, it is not possible to get rid of these. Why, if I don't get rid of these, my ego continues. I continue to have the same false notion. Subject matter and goal. Just check it again. For example, the subject matter is what is the goal of life is to discover my true nature, which is already free from the suffering. I have to contemplate and find out to help the mind to read. Why? Because the intellect has understood, and intellect has to take this knowledge to the heart where the mind is. Mind keeps that doubt. How to help the intellect to pass on the knowledge from here to the heart by constant contemplation and reflection. And when you have that level of awareness in the mind, it goes to the hands. I talk about from the head to the heart and from heart to the hands. It means now it is going to be applied in my daily life. Now, this journey, this practice, head to the heart to the hands, includes the purity of the mind, detachment from the external objects. It does not mean I have been saying it again and again. You can use anything, you can eat anything, there is no problem. Inner attitude of the balance and the calmness is maintained. Think. That is the topic. Yes, after a few more topics, we will take up the 5 key elements I have talked about. It starts with the S. Sadhana, sadhaka, sadhya, sadhu, and sadhaka, seeker, sadhya, and siddha. If we don't do that, there is always a problem. Now see, the great books like Gita, Gita doesn't talk in detail about what we discussed just today. That is why it does not make a sense. Even if we read Gita, we say, I have understood, but it does not make a sense. In the sixth chapter, our Krishna says, Sadhana, what is sadhana? Just quitting the mind. Now, he just made one single statement, which covers the entire talk today. So, as we start studying the higher text, we find a very bridged statement, cryptic language. One Upanishad said, by the practice of meditation, one attains the tranquility of the mind. So, is the tranquility of mind is the goal? No. Then he says it makes you a great seeker. And what Patanjali says, practice means practice supported by the Vairagya. I covered each and every aspect of the practice supported by Vairagya. Last point, I think in Gita, perhaps in the sixth chapter, Krishna says those who make an effort on the path of self-discovery with determination and faith are assured of success. That faith and assurance will come only when we understand the entire 5S and we start working on it. One more. This comes from Mundak Upanishad. Mundak Upanishad is one of the great texts. So what it says, what the Mundak Upanishad says, Mundak Upanishad says, now you see, the wise, so he is referring to the seeker. The wise means the seeker, ever striving, self-disciplined. So what he says, seeker, first qualification of a seeker. Then he says extra qualification, ever striving. Then he says self-disciplined. Fourth qualification, he desires only the goal of life is the real self. 24/7, doing all the activities. Can achieve the success in reaching to